Welcome back, Curry Crew. Today we're going to be making another delicious recipe for you. So today we're going to be making some delicious oatmeal raisin cookies, and they're going to turn out amazing. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into our recipe. We're going to interrupt your video right now just to let you know that we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, guys. So if you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button down there so that you can watch all of the new videos that we post every week. We're going to post 2 videos every week. You want to make sure you see those recipes. So click subscribe and then punch that notification bell so you know when the videos come out. And now, back to your video. So the first thing that we're going to do for our oatmeal raisin cookies is to take 1 cup of raisins and place them in a bowl. Now you could use a combination of raisins if you want to use like golden raisins and black raisins, or a combination like that. I'm using the only ones that I had, which are black raisins or dark raisins. They taste great, so I'm going to go with those, but you can always mix. Then into this we're going to add in 1 cup of warm water. Now what the warm water is going to do is it's going to help our raisins become nice and soft and also a bit more juicy, and hence it will help make sure that the cookie is not too dry because we're adding a little bit of moisture to it from our raisins. Next we're going to take 1.5 sticks of unsalted butter. You want to make sure your butter is at room temperature or else it's not going to blend properly when we add in our brown sugar and stuff like that. Now this is roughly about 3/4 cup of butter. We're going to place it into our large mixing bowl, and then into this we're going to add in 1 cup of lightly packed dark brown sugar. Now you can also use light brown sugar also, but I just prefer the dark one since it has a richer and deeper sweet taste to it. Next, using a hand mixer, we're going to beat the butter and sugar mixture until it is nice and smooth. Then into this we will add in 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract and 1 large egg. And once again, we're going to beat the egg and vanilla into our butter and sugar mixture. Now, in another bowl, we're going to start mixing together our dry ingredients. So the first ingredient that we have is 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Then into this, we're going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Next, we're going to add in a pinch of nutmeg. And last but not least, we're going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now, using a whisk or a fork, give all of our dry ingredients a quick mix. Now, some people often might be wondering why we're adding salt to like a sweet cookie dish, but salt actually helps bring out the flavors of all the other ingredients in there. So even when you're making a dessert or a cookie, you do want to add like a pinch or 2 of salt because it is going to help the overall taste of your dish and make it a lot better. Now, once our dry ingredients are completely mixed, obviously we're missing 1 key ingredient to these oatmeal raisin cookies. So now we're going to add in our 3 cups of rolled oats into our dry ingredients mixture. Give it 1 more mix until our oats are well combined with the other dry ingredients. Now we're going to combine our wet and our dry ingredients together. So add in the oats and flour mix into your butter and sugar mix a little bit at a time. So maybe you want to add about 1/3 of the dry ingredients, mix with the hand blender, and then add some more. And then you're just going to keep repeating that until all of the dry ingredients have been incorporated into our sugar and butter mixture. Next, we're going to take our raisins from earlier and we're going to strain them and just make sure that we get rid of any excess water that's left behind. But we want to make sure that the raisins are still nice and plump. Then we're going to add our raisins into our cookie dough. And using a spatula, we're going to mix it until all of the raisins have been properly incorporated into the overall cookie dough. Now, preheat your oven to about 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we're going to line 2 baking trays with some parchment paper just to make sure that our cookie dough doesn't stick to the tray. Then we're going to take about 2 tablespoons or about an ice cream scoop worth of our cookie dough, and we're going to roll it into a ball in our hand, and then we're going to place that dough on the baking tray. Next, we're going to dip our fingers in some water and we're going to press down on the cookies until they flatten out a bit and become about 1/2 inch thick and nice and circular. We want to dip our fingers in water because this will help with pressing down the dough and prevent them from sticking to our fingers, but also it's going to prevent the tops of the cookies from burning in the oven once we put them in there. Once all of your cookies are ready, we're going to bake them on the middle rack of the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. All in all, we're going to make about 12 to 15, 16 cookies, depending on the size of the dough that you took in your hand. You will know your cookies are ready when the edges of the cookies turn slightly golden brown. Once you see that, remove the cookies from the oven and allow them to cool on the baking tray for about 5 to 10 minutes, after which we will transfer them over to a cooling rack and then allow them to cool down completely on the cooling rack. Keep an eye on the baking time, because if you over bake your cookies, you not only risk burning the bottom of the cookies, but you also risk making them completely dry. And then what's going to happen is, instead of getting a really nice and chewy oatmeal raisin cookie, you're going to get one that's very crumbly, very dry, and very hard to bite into. Now, once all your cookies are cooled, they are ready to go, so you can either dig right in, you can enjoy it with a nice glass of milk or even some coffee. So they're pretty much ready for us to enjoy. So let's head over to the taste zone and see how they turned out. So guys, here we have our delicious oatmeal raisin cookies. They smell so good with the cinnamon, the nutmeg, and everything else that we've added in there. So I'm gonna dig right in. I'm gonna take a great big bite right here. This guy is so good. There's the perfect amount of sweetness. It's not overly sweet. And this would go great with a nice cup of coffee or, you know, a warm glass of milk. So you definitely need to try this out for yourself. Let us know how much you love it, how great it turns out for you, and keep on cooking.